Hello, family. You are welcome to episode 8 of our podcast on Christian marriage. Like I told you, this podcast was intended not to go the normal way, For example, the question that was answered last week was quite an important subject. Can I marry from another denomination? And if you've not watched that episode, go and watch it, so that you can get very clear answers as directed by the Spirit of the Lord. Amen. So today we want to look at we are still building a case. We are still gathering the truths concerning marriage, which is very important for the Christian life. And we want to deal with a very important thing, the genesis of marriage. The genesis of marriage. Now, what I want you to understand is that the genesis of marriage is also the genesis of Christian marriage, because the genesis of marriage is God. In the beginning, God created heavens and the earth, made the man, brought the woman, put them together. The first marriage was officiated by God himself. He was the one that looked or even brought the woman, and was the one that remember when the animals were brought, Adam gave them names, and the Bible says, but for Adam there was no suitable. Meaning that God was watching and saw that none of them was Adam's choice, until he made the woman, and he saw Adam jumping and saying, this is now the bone of my bone. So God himself was the one that officiated the first ever wedding. And it's quite an important subject, because something which has its direct, direct source from God. Banking, architecturing, name all these occupations that some of you believe that God even put you into. All these things didn't exist until men made them. God made all these fields and institutions. There are many institutions in the world. It was men that came to make it. But marriage was the institution that God himself brought, which is very important. That's why family is very key, because it's a God-ordained institution, God-inspired institution. God gave us wisdom to solve other problems and to come up with other institutions to handle other issues. But with this one, he instituted it himself, because it's the primary institution for every other institution. It doesn't matter how well you are doing with business and doing with every other institution. When the institution of marriage is not okay, if there is a problem, it almost feels as if you are a failure. So it's very important that we understand the institution of marriage. What's the genesis of marriage? So we'll go to the book of Genesis to understand the genesis of marriage. Genesis chapter number 1 and the verse 26. The verse 26. Now remember, the Bible talks about the various things God did on the first day, second day in Genesis 1, third day, fourth day, fifth day, and on the sixth day, God did something, and that is important. Okay, Genesis 1:26. The Bible says, and God said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 27 says, so God created man in his image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. In Genesis 1:26, we see an intention of God. He says, let us make man in our image. So first, man is in the image of God. Man is in the image of God. And number 2, he said, let them have dominion. He shows you what the purpose of man is. It was to rule over everything that God had created. Man was supposed to be the manager of God's estate, God's design, what God had made. He created the man to manage what he had created. The verse 27 says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So in verse 27, we see a very amazing phenomenon. Man is him and man is them. You see, he created him. Then he goes on to say, male and female, he created them. What does that mean? God did man. Because remember, he said, let us make man. He didn't say, let us make men. But why does he bring this plural tense, male and female? Because he's trying to let you understand that the very day the male man was created was the same day the female was also created. But in the day that the male and the female was created, the female was not visible. The female was not visible. So it was still one man. Hidden inside him was a woman. So in the creation, he made the male and the female. But the woman had not yet been brought out of the man. So it was only the man that God had made. That's why he says in the verse 27 that, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created him, one man. But that one man was male and female. That one man was male and female. And isn't it amazing that later on, science would come out to understand the chromosomes of the male and the female, and they come out to understand that the male has the X and Y chromosome, but the female has only the X chromosome, which means that a man is both a man and a woman is a woman. Why? Because the woman was brought out of the man. He was brought out of the man. So when God made Adam, God made X and Y chromosome, which shows two different identities, male and female, within. Isn't it amazing how the scriptures or scientists come in later to come and even prove what God had done, that indeed when God made Adam, Adam was male and female. It still remains in his body. It still remains in his DNA. It's still part of him. It still shows how his chromosome is. You see, so when God made Adam, he made him male and female. And so there was one man, but embedded in him was the woman. Now in Genesis chapter 2, we read of God bringing all the animals to Adam to name them. And the Bible says whatever name that he gave to them, it was so. Then the Bible continues to say that, but for Adam, there was not found a suitable mate. Then God said, I'm going to get him a woman. What did he do? Did he go and pick clay? No. Because remember, Genesis 1:27 shows that he had already made Adam male and female. So he didn't need to create the female, because the female was created on the day the male was created. But the male was seen, but the female was hidden in the male. Then in Genesis chapter 2, we read of when God had given purpose. The Bible said there was no suitable help for Adam. But for Adam was not found any suitable help. In other words, because Adam didn't have a suitable help, God proceeded to make the woman. And guess where his helper was? His helper was right inside him. Now let me switch a little and come back. Do you know that your help is always found inside you? That grace, that gift, that talent, that ability inside you could help you achieve everything that God has given to you. Your help is inside you. You see, the reason why we don't do well in life is that we've not brought our helper out. You see, something is inside you. If you don't bring it out, you can be competing in this life and be losing. That's just by the way. So God made the woman as a helper. And guess what he did? He caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. And then he picked one of Adam's rib. I want you to notice, he picked one. God could have picked half of his bones. God could have picked half. He could have, because, if you look at the skeleton, maybe apart from the head, the rest of it, you can divide this side and this side. God could have picked half of Adam's bone, but he picked only one of his ribs and formed the woman. Later on, Apostle Peter will come and tell us that husbands should treat their wives well because they are weak vessels. Now, if you look at this life, DNA changes things a bit, but if you look at this life, generally men are the strong ones with strong bones, with hard body. Women are the soft one. So you can see it even in how the woman was made. God needed only one bone to form the woman, because God was not making another hard thing like the male man. He was making a soft thing called the female to come and be of help to the man. So God picked only one rib and then formed it into the woman, put flesh around it. God is a God of miracle. How he did it, we can't tell, but that's what God did. But symbolically, it's representing that just take a whole structure of a man, and the woman is just one rib out of the man. That's a lot of message out there. So when you see people who talk about a man and a woman being equal, they are confused. If God wanted the man and the woman to be equal, Genesis 1:27 is there. He could have just formed clay. On one side, he forms a man. If God can form a man, why can't he form a woman? On the very day, because Genesis 1:27 shows us that God created them. Okay? So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he, male and female created he them. And God blessed. So God did it. So God could have just picked clay or picked soil, formed the man. Then when he finished forming the man, then he will pick another soil and form the woman. And then breathe into both of them and let the two of them rise up. And then that's equal partnership. That's equal. Two equal people. But God didn't do that. He created the male and the female. That means the spiritual composition of male and female. You see, created. That's different from made. Made is the formation. In the creation, God created both male and female at the same time. But in the formation of the human person, he formed the male man and pulled the female from the male man. Now, that in itself is the genesis of marriage. The genesis of marriage is that from the beginning, God knew that it was going to be male and female. That's why he created the male and female. From the beginning, he knew they were going to be that. But so that the structure of marriage would be properly understood, he first formed the man. And number two, gave assignment to the man. You see, and whilst the man was on his assignment, he made the woman. Listen, he didn't form the man and after that pulled the woman. No, he formed the man, already creating the woman down. It's like the woman is something that will come later. Let's finish with this one. Formed the man, gave his purpose to the man. And that's where man gains the headship. You see, because man gained the headship before the woman was formed. If God had made Adam and Eve and then said, I give you charge, keep the garden, then it means that the charge was for both Adam and Eve. But God ensured that as at the time he was releasing purpose, it was only the man that existed. You see, to clearly send out what the message of marriage is, he formed the man. And when he finished forming the man, he now gave purpose to the man. And after he gave purpose to the man, he now created the woman and said, this is the reason, as though he didn't know the reason. God acted as though the creation of the woman is an afterthought. Because he did everything and said, I'm done. And the process of life had started. Adam was about his work. Going about his work. His first assignment was given to him. Name the animals. And he was doing it. And when he did it, Bible never records that and Adam was lonely. The Bible never says Adam was lonely. The Bible never says Adam was boring. Let me ask you. Imagine you are the only creation. What would be boredom? You don't even know there is a possibility of another of your kind. You see, the reason why we get bored is because we've already experienced human relation. And so when human relation is no more there, we feel bored. But Adam never had human relation in the first place to ever feel bored. So boredom was not the reason why God created Adam and Eve. Not because he was lonely. The Bible never records that. You see, Adam never even requested for a wife. Adam didn't say that you've done all this thing for me, you have not done anything. No, it was God himself who sounded like an afterthought, said, Adam has named all the animals, but for him, there's no suitable mate. For him, I will make a woman. Yet, the female, the woman, when we say woman, it's talking about the male man or the man that carries the female characteristic. You see, the woman is a man that carries the female characteristic. You see, and we all know from the scripture we read that he had already done that in Genesis 1:26. So why does it sound like, because there's no help? Because God wanted us to understand the genesis of the importance of the woman. He wanted us to know the value and the place of the woman. He wanted us to understand that these two entities are not the same. Though they are alike in the image of God, they are not the same when it comes to function. Let me tell you something. In this life, whether you like it or not, somebody will be the CEO and somebody will be the assistant CEO. Somebody must be the CEO and somebody must be the assistant CEO. Somebody must be Pharaoh and somebody must be Joseph, who functions under Pharaoh. Life is not possible without assistance. Listen to me. Where would the water be if there was no ground or soil underneath to hold water? You see, somebody must play a role of support. You see, where would the petals be without the sepals? Right? The sepal is the stalk. Yeah. Where would the petals be, you see, without the sepals? See, where would the branch be without the stem? Where would the stem be without the roots? God has designed life just like how man depends on God. God also designed life that every man or everything created needs help. So God deliberately brought the story out this way. Okay, so they were created together. I know one day I'll call one guy called Moses to write the story. If he writes the story, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. On the sixth day he made Adam and Eve, and then people will be confused as to what my intent for marriage was. So let me reveal my intent for marriage by how I brought out the woman. How did I do it? I had already created them male and female, meaning both the male and the female spirit is in the image of God. But for function on earth's sake, I made the male man come. And the male man was functioning. And I gave purpose to the male man. Then whilst he was going about his purpose, I said, no, it's not good that the man should do this work alone. He needs a helpmeet for him. So that I went ahead to free the woman. Just to let you understand that this institution of marriage that I am bringing, it is a union between a man that God has given purpose to and his assistant in that purpose, his helper in that purpose. The one he has created to come and help that man in the purpose to which God has made him. That was the message God wanted to make. So the genesis of marriage in itself shows us that man was designed to be the authority, which is the head. That's why he came first. And the instruction was given to him. Do you know that as at the time Eve came, there was no instruction God had for the human race? He had given all to Adam. You see, dominion, have this, take care of the garden, do this. All that while Eve didn't exist. Eve only came into existence after all these instructions has been given to the man. Why did God give the instruction when Eve had not come? Because the instruction is for the man and not for the man and his wife. It's for the man. It's for the man. Also declaring the mission and the message of the man. He's supposed to be leader. He's supposed to be head. You know what? Till date, infrastructure development, scientific research, findings that have come out, innovations, technology, 90 to 99% of it all came from the male man. Because he was created to form the earth for the woman to enjoy from that. Think about it. He's been designed to make the earth what it's supposed to be. You see, so it's not by mistake that the things men love to do, if not today that people are forcing equality and creating issues, the things that men love to do is different from the things that females love to do. Men like the hard things. You see, they want to, how many pilots are females? They want the risky ones, the hard things. See, they were designed to have bravery, and that's the character of a leader. Boldness to confront things, you see, face things and everything, you see. So you understand from the foundation that God's institution called marriage, this is how it came about. God made the man, gave purpose to the man, and made the woman, and brought the woman to come and help the man. But the man and the woman are equal. They are equal. They are the same. They carry the same nature as God, because Genesis 1:27 clearly said he made Adam and Eve, he made male and female in his image. So male and female comes together to form the image of God. So God is male and female. You see, God is male and female. And you get to understand these things, and it helps you to understand that after 6,000 years, the problem of marriage is a disorder of how it first started. After 6,000, I tell people this all the time. The only reason why there are marital problems is because of authority and submission. You cannot find one marital problem beyond authority and submission, because that was the original design. The original design was making the man first and bringing the woman second, making the man with all the bones and making the woman with one out of all the bones. It's all a message of God to who the woman is and to who the man is. You see, to when God gave the instructions to when the woman came in, it's amazing, because on the seventh day God rested. He was done. Can you imagine the woman came after God was done? God said, I'm finished with this work. So the woman was not a new creation. You see, that's why he had created the woman already in Genesis 1:26 and 7. So when God said it is finished, it was finished because the woman too was made. So he could have just at that time brought out the woman. But he wanted us to understand what marriage really is. Is a marriage is a man finding purpose and finding a helpmeet for that purpose. You see, finding a helpmeet for that purpose. And that's amazing. And you see, today they want us to throw away God's reason for the union and to just embrace man-made reasons. And the man-made reasons they are forcing us to embrace is what is creating the big problems. Because you see, God is the one who made man. And God is the one who instituted marriage. You see, nobody should despise it. When I was much younger, I despised marriage. When I grew, I value it so much because it is God's creation. Today, if you understand, the number one reason for churches going down in Europe and everything is family breakdown. You can go and check it. In the 1800s, when families were together and there were very little divorces in Europe and everything, children were picking God after their parents, because Europe and America was basically Christian. But around the 1900s, when society started disintegrating and divorces started coming, and the child would grow seeing that my mother is here, my father is here, the children lost interest in church. You see, because when the family, the husband and the wife are together, they are able to drive their children in a certain direction. When these things started getting broken, it started affecting. Then America and Europe started losing. The new generation that were coming in were not interested in God again. Family breakdown is one of the key causes of what is happening when people have lost God. So don't joke with marriage. You see, don't joke with marriage. Unless a child is very firm, minus a good home that a child is brought up from, that child may find it difficult to know God. That's why I said in one of the episodes, the essence of the Christian marriage is the purpose of God. And the reason why we give birth to children is so that they can understand that purpose, multiplication of that purpose through the children that we give birth to. Listen, at this point, we are getting into why I started this podcast. Dear daughters, male and female are not the same. Marriage is not a partnership. No, it can never be a partnership. It's not two people who have brought their money together to do it. No. It's not two people who have brought an idea together to form the right brothers or something. No. Marriage is God giving a purpose to a certain person, and then the person finding a helpmeet for that particular purpose and then fulfilling it. That's what it is. Do you know that there are even some men, their purpose is to raise a woman's purpose? That's his purpose. His whole assignment is to find somebody who is very gifted. That's his calling. I have a special grace to help people who have special giftings for the gifting to go far. So there are men whose main assignment, you see, remember, popularity doesn't mean headship. Who is popular, who is known, who is doing well doesn't mean headship. Headship is who is the one controlling these boats. You see, let me tell you something. And you see a musician who is doing very well, shining everywhere. It will shock you there is a management team controlling all these things. And that artist is not above the manager. The manager is the one managing the artist. So the leader is not automatically the one who is shining. He's the one who is in charge of affairs to make things work. So it might be the woman who has a special gift and the man is harnessing the gift so that the gift to go. He's still the leader. But the foundation of marriage is that God created Adam a male and female, but he revealed or he brought out the male before the female to establish order. The man is the head. The man is the leader. The man is the authority. And the woman who will come and be in submission to this headship for this to work. Next week, we are going to delve deeper in this same subject. Look at different scriptures for you to understand the power of how God originally did marriage. If you will follow it, the power that we can have. God bless you. We'll meet again next week. I love you. Thank you. If you have any question, you can bring it to us. We will definitely do our best to answer. Thank you.